Have you ever noticed that your lowest moods don't usually hit when you're actually in the middle of a crisis? Think about it. You survived a brutal week at work. You handled the deadlines, the difficult conversations, and the lack of sleep. You were a machine. But then, Saturday morning arrives. You have no plans, no pressure, and finally, some peace. And that's exactly when the cloud rolls in. You feel heavy, unmotivated, and most frustratingly, sad for absolutely no reason. In psychology, we call this the lag effect. When you're stressed, your body is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline to keep you moving. Your brain essentially pauses its emotional processing to focus on survival. But the moment you stop, your nervous system finally has the breathing room to process the exhaustion you've been ignoring for days. That unexplained sadness isn't a random glitch. It's an emotional hangover. It's your brain finally catching up to the reality of how tired you actually are. But there's a second, more modern reason for these dips: the digital ghost. When we feel that dip, what's the first thing most of us do? We reach for our phones to distract ourselves. We think we're resting on the couch, but biologically, we're doing the exact opposite. Every time you scroll past a friend's promotion or a stranger's perfect vacation, your brain performs what's called an upward social comparison. Even if you know it's just a highlight reel, your subconscious registers a status threat. It triggers a tiny drop in serotonin because on a primal level, your brain feels like it's falling behind the rest of the tribe. When you do this 50 times in 5 minutes, you aren't just looking at pictures. You are subjecting yourself to dozens of micro-stresses. By the time you put the phone down, you feel drained and off. You don't have one single bad event to point to, so your mind labels it as sadness for no reason. But the reason is right there in your palm. Every meme, news headline, and notification requires a micro-decision. Should I care about this? Should I reply? Should I keep scrolling? When this part of your brain gets exhausted, it leads to decision fatigue. When the battery hits zero, your brain stops being able to regulate your emotions effectively. You start to feel flat or numb. It's not that you're depressed. It's that your hardware is overheating from a data overload. You don't need a new life. You just need a lower ping rate. So how do we fix a brain that feels like it's lagging? We need a hardware reset. I want to introduce you to the beginner's dopamine fast. This isn't about suffering, it's about intentional boredom. Try this for just 24 hours. Ideally, a Sunday. 1. The phone jail. Put your phone in a drawer. If you need it for emergencies, turn off all notifications and put the screen on grayscale. 2. Active recovery. Instead of scrolling, do something high focus, but low stimulus. Fold your laundry, take a walk without headphones, or draw. This allows your default mode network to wander and finally finish processing those emotional leftovers from the week. 3. The simple baseline. Eat simple foods, avoid caffeine if you can, and just exist. At first, you will feel incredibly restless. That's your brain screaming for a hit of dopamine. But if you stay with it, by the afternoon, you'll notice the cloud starts to lift. You'll realize you weren't sad. You were just overstimulated. If you're in one of those dips right now, remember, your brain isn't broken. It's actually doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's signaling that it needs a break. Be kind to yourself today. You don't have to solve your sadness. Sometimes you just have to give it the quiet space it needs to pass. You aren't failing at being happy. You're just succeeding at being human. I'll see you in the next one.